Hello and welcome to the career simulation of projected 15th overall pick in the 2024 NHL Draft, Igor Chernyshov. To start off, Igor will be playing on the first line of Dynamo Moskva. In 68 games on the season, Chernyshov would score 12 points. Dynamo would finish 14th in the league and miss the playoffs this season. In the draft lottery, the Blackhawks and Ducks have the best odds at getting the first overall pick. Also, Chernyshov is projected 8th to the Kings. After the lottery, the Flyers and Sabres would get the first and second overall picks, while the Rangers would get the 8th. After the draft, the Sabres drafted Igor with the 13th overall pick. Also, he is revealed to be a 72. Igor would receive his first NHL contract at 3 years for $795,000. Also, he is now a 74. Chernyshov would stay on Dynamo Moskva this season on the third left wing line. In 62 games, Chernyshov would score 33 points. Moskva would finish 13th and miss the playoffs again. Igor is now a 75. Obviously, Chernyshov stayed on Dynamo Moskva and in 61 games would score 37 points with the team. Dynamo Moskva would finish 22nd in the league and would miss the playoffs again. Chernyshov is now a 76 and will be playing for Rochester of the AHL and would be playing on the third left wing line. Chernyshov would play 82 games and in those 82 games would score 72 points. Also, yes, I know the AHL plays 72 games. That will be finished next video. Anyway, the Americans would finish 23rd in the league and miss the playoffs. Igor is now an 81 overall, but unfortunately Chernyshov would be sent down to the AHL to play for the Rochester Americans. Chernyshov would play 11 games with the Americans and would score 14 points. Also, he would play in the NHL as well, playing 38 games and scoring only 4 points. The Sabres would finish 4th in the league and make the playoffs. Buffalo would make it all the way to the conference finals but would be eliminated to the Flyers in 5 games. Chernyshov would only play 1 game, however, as he was a scratched player, and he would score 0 points. Chernyshov would receive a 3-year contract at $3.6 million. Also, he is now an 83 overall. In 78 games, Chernyshov would score 37 points. The Sabres would finish 4th in the league again and would make the playoffs. The Sabres would be eliminated to the Canadiens in the second round in 4 games. In 11 games, Chernyshov scored 5 points. Igor is up to an 86 overall. In 82 games, Igor would score 57 points. The Sabres would finish 2nd in the league and make the playoffs. The Sabres would once again be eliminated to the Flyers in the conference finals, this time in 7 games. In 16 games, Chernyshov also scored 7 points. In the final year of his contract, Chernyshov is now up to an 87 overall. In 70 games, Chernyshov would score 32 points. The Sabres would finish 7th and make the playoffs. In 6 games, the Islanders would eliminate the Sabres in the second round. Chernyshov would enter free agency as a RFA and would sign with the Oilers on a 6-year deal for $8.1 million. He is still an 87. Also, here is how he got to the Oilers as an RFA by trade, not signing for a few draft picks. Chernyshov would play 72 games with his new team and would score 39 points. Chernyshov and the Oilers would place 17th and miss the playoffs. Igor is now down to an 86 overall. In 75 games, Igor would score 44 points. The Oilers would finish 19th and would miss the playoffs. Chernyshov is still 86. In 73 games, Chernyshov would score 50 points. The Oilers would finish 5th in the league and make the playoffs. But unfortunately, in the first round, the Predators would eliminate the Oilers in 6 games. Chernyshov is still an 86. In 78 games, Chernyshov would score 44 points. The Oilers would finish 7th in the league and make the playoffs. The Oilers would win the Stanley Cup this year, beating the Canadiens in 5 games. In 18 games played, Chernyshov would score 16 points. Chernyshov is still 86 overall. In 58 games played with the Oilers, Chernyshov would score 50 points. However, he played with the Capitals as well as he got traded to them, and in 5 games Chernyshov would score 7 points. The Capitals would finish 31st in the league and miss the playoffs. In the final year of his contract, Chernyshov is back up to an 87. His time with the Capitals wouldn't last long, however, as he would play on the Kings and would play 71 games, scoring 54 points. Also, here's the trade. He was traded for a made-up prospect named Tomi Jorvanen. The Kings would finish 31st in the league and miss the playoffs. Chernyshov would enter free agency again, meaning yes, he will be finding another new team. Chernyshov would eventually sign with the Red Wings on a 5-year deal worth $9.3 million. Also, he is still an 87. In 78 games with his new team, Chernyshov would score 61 points. The Red Wings would finish 12th in the league and make the playoffs. In the second round of the playoffs, the Red Wings would be eliminated to Hurricanes in 7 games. In 12 games, Chernyshov would score 6 points. He is still 87. In 82 games, Chernyshov would score 67 points. The Red Wings would finish 14th in the league and would make the playoffs. The Canadiens would eliminate the Wings in the second round in a sweep. In 11 games, Chernyshov would score 5 points. He is still an 87. In 82 games, Chernyshov would score 68 points. The Red Wings would finish 5th in the league and make the playoffs. In the conference finals, the Red Wings would be eliminated to the Capitals in 7 games. In 17 games, Chernyshov would finish 11 points. In what could be his final NHL season, Chernyshov is now an 84 overall. In 66 games with the Red Wings, Chernyshov would score 43 points and would be traded to his first team, the Sabres would score 8 points in 16 games. Also, here's the trade. Chernyshov would be traded for his former teammate Zach Benson and a few picks. Also, the Sabres would finish 14th and miss the playoffs. After that, Chernyshov decided that would be it for his career and would retire at 36 years old. Igor didn't finish top 50 in any records, but the only award he won in his whole career would be the Stanley Cup. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. Goodbye.